Once upon a time, in this non-physical place, and it is a place, we do have feet and we do stand on ground, but we can change the ground. We can make it grass, we can make it a swimming pool. And yes, we can walk on water if we create it. We don't all naturally do it, but if we want to create that experience, then we draw the energies in and then we do it. We could, if we wanted to, create or go to ocean areas and put a dining room table on the water with chairs, and we could have a meal with friends and family on the ocean. And the thing is, we could make the ocean even more crystal clear than it is over here. And we could have our aquatic best friends participate as well. How? Because we create it. And we can create using simulated friends and family, the way that you create movies. We could create like that, or we can create with those people. We bring the idea to those people and then we all mind meld and we create it. And then we keep it available to us, or we uncreate it and we have a blast doing both. What you are doing here in this physical life is increasing your intuition. That's why you're here. You have everything. We say the world is your playground, and you have every topic imaginable, and you have powerful interest and an assortment of emotions. But you also have thought that's very, very thick, because thoughts remain. Physical life ends, but thoughts from those physical lives are still here, and they're in time layers, so they don't continue. If someone is having a dinner party, when that dinner party is over on a Tuesday night, the dinner party scenario doesn't keep going. The dinner party ends and you continue your life. The same thing happens. When your life completes, everything that you did is a snapshot in time that is still available to tune into. But those moments are not progressing into something different than the future already did. The world is awfully confused on that one. But intuition you use over here, it's how we connect with people using the power of the mind. It's also how we travel from place to place, and you expand the distance that you can go based on intuition. Intuition is not suggestion received like it is here. It is how you use it. But this is how you manifest stronger intuition. It's a challenging environment. One day, there was someone who was having conversations about strengthening intuition. And that someone, in that moment, preferred a different conversation. And that conversation was about how many ways are there to increase intuition? What are my options? And then that person started to use the power of the mind and creativity to dream up different ways of creating intuition-based environments. And then that person gathered their non-physical teacher team, who also brought in others and others and others, and it became guild work. Guild work. Became a think tank. We call those beings thinkers. They were the thinkers that came together because that being was a thinker and liked to think. How do you do this? How do you do that?
Really know that.
It's not so much how, but it is what are the options that were on the table? How to broadened into what are my options? Which broadened then into I'd like to create an option. And so that being did not create an option. That being struck up a conversation with other beings who brought more in and more in, and they started to dream up what you now have as platform Earth. But the thinkers did not create it. The thinkers thought about it. And then they asked what we call researchers to go out and research more things so that there could be more input. And then they brought in testers. It's very much like project management when you narrow it all down the way we teach it. There's more to it. We're just doing a broad brush. What happens if we do this? What happens if we do this? Try this, try this. And so there were not breakout rooms, but they're more like subcommittees. Project this. How does it work? Oh, that's what happens. All right, what do you want to talk about? Well, that's what happened. We did it 4 times. All right, well, that's good. Well, this group did that. Now, so there's scenario 1, scenario 2. How many scenarios do we have? And they exhausted all possibilities. And when they all collectively came up with the same internal knowing, we have addressed all possibilities. Then they brought in the makers, and then the makers used energy to create it. And then you have maintainers and you have others that come in and do things. You do have healers and you do have maintainers and you do have things that you don't know about, because the way we create is with intention, and it's very focused energy and it's on purpose. What you don't know is there are many things in the air that you cannot see. And those things all vibrate what they are, what they do, and how to do what they do. And everything in your natural environment heals something else, because that's what the thinkers decided they needed to do. And then the makers made it. And so we're all in this together because we had fun with it and we created it. We do know that sounds like we overlooked the fact that life would not be fun and you would have people hurting each other. Well, we didn't design that into the platform. It evolved itself. Why did we let that continue? Well, we don't. But you keep investigating the past, and so you keep recreating what got cleaned up. There are methods of healing included. You just had this beautiful solar eclipse. But people, we love you so much, but you don't ask enough creative questions. When you do, we and others like us will answer you, not just through this woman, Carol, but through any good channeled person, because that's what we use channeling for, to teach and to guide you specifically. That beautiful solar eclipse does have a vision, a phenomenon that you can visually see on one of the 6 days. You don't know that it's a 6-day phenomenon. We do, because we know who put that into the platform. Why does that day have a visual and no others? Because that's root chakra day. And if you know that what's emanating from the sun and the moon and other things around it is bringing non-physical energy that contains very specialized sumari, the non-physical intelligence, that targets the root chakra of anything that has a root chakra. And people are not the only thing that has it. But if you don't know it, then you just know about solar eclipse. But if you do know, then your chakra alters that entire day, the entire day. You can't create with what you do not know about. If you don't have flour in the cupboard, you cannot make a cake. If you do not have potato chips in the cupboard, you cannot sit and eat potato chips. You cannot use what you do not know about. The guilds that created the platforms of Earth are all of the guilds. It's a way of life over here that we do things in sequence. We use logic for everything, everything. This particular platform is for old soul beings. What you don't know can harm you. If you don't know what your resilience factor is, then you don't know what your potential is to face a situation. And then you add human worry where it does not belong. But if you don't have resilience on that topic, we don't want you to sink into worry. We want you to appreciate worry and back away, back away, back away. How do you know whether you are resilient to it or not? You don't. This platform has within it the capability for you to advance your intuition, but not just that. It has within it the ability to advance all the way to verbal two-way dialogue so that we can guide you throughout the day. I'm leaving work late and I know I'm going to hit traffic. What do you want me to do? How do I handle this? I'm already feeling a little negative emotion. All right, well, this is what we want you to do. We want you to turn on the radio. We want you to have somebody on speed dial. We want you to stay in the specific lane. We'll get all the way down to the specifics. General information is general information, but private guidance is private guidance, and we'll guide you all the way. But that's awfully expensive, is it not? If you called every day, what do you want me to do on my way home? And there are better things to do. Maybe you need to be in the fast lane because the people that are in the fast lane are a little happier. Not just because they're going faster, because they could be going fast and also carry aggravation or stress and worry. In which case you don't want to be in the fast lane because you drive right through it and you can absorb it. So creation is so many things that you don't know about. And what people tend to do is they ask, but why did they do that? Why are we here? Why do babies die? Why do we get old? Why does this happen? What's going on with the whales? Well, what about this and what about that? And we say, well, pull it back, pull it back. Let's just have a conversation about creation. And then whatever part of that piques your interest, ask a question on that. Because when you do that, then you lean into curiosity and then you change your emotional output. And when you change your emotional output, you'll tune back into that more frequently, and other people might too. And 1 by 1, 2 by 2, 10 by 10, 1,000 by 1,000. If people did that even once a day, your world would be a different emotional environment. You did not choose to come here because you were bad. You did not choose to come here because it's baby environment and you have to deal with suffering until you are enlightened, and then you get to go to the glorious place where everybody's friendly. Not like that at all. That's an upside down thought. Path of least resistance is you practice easy, and then a little harder, then a little harder, then a little harder, then a little harder. And now you're here. You got this. And you can do this. Physical life. You can do it, which means in the moment of, I don't feel so good, you can flip it around. You just have to teach yourself that you can, because most of you have decades of not even knowing that you can, but you can. And when you do it often enough, then that negative emotion just glides right off of you. You might notice it, but then inner mind rejects it. And that's what we mean by glides right off of you. Some of you are trying so hard to do the flip-flop and change your life, and you're getting so bogged down in frustration, that's because you don't understand what you're ready for. You don't understand where you are emotionally. You have to start where you are and take incremental steps to improve it early and often. Flip it around, early and often, flip it around.